when it was dropping from 106 to 98, people talking about it going to 94, 75's coming, we're going back to 40. Bro, on that day, it's real estate. When Bitcoin's going from 98 back to 106, it's the Bitcoin. So which one would I rather have? My business model is built on both of them. Real estate would be more like Hulk, heavy, kind of slower, can't fly. Bitcoin, Superman. What I'm doing is basically putting the Avengers, I'm creating an Avenger fund of superheroes, right? You don't have to pick to make a big claim. I believe that this real estate Bitcoin fund is going to be the biggest thing that's happened in real estate for 65 years. Imagine owning $100 million worth of Bitcoin and getting a $40 million tax break.
Archie.
Grant, what's the superior asset, Bitcoin or real estate?
Well, yesterday it was real estate. You know, when it was dropping from 106 to 98, people talking about it going to 94, 75's coming, we're going back to 40. Bro, on that day, it's real estate. You know, when Bitcoin's going from 98 back to 106, it's the Bitcoin. Okay. When real estate needs a new roof or gutters or plumbing or whatever problem it's got, you know, when it has problems, it's Bitcoin. So which one would I rather have? It depends on where I'm at in life and what I'm trying to, you know, I want both of them, dude. I want both of them because my business model is built on both of them. So I'm really talking my book.
Yeah, the volatility of Bitcoin is one of the downsides for people who are not familiar with Bitcoin's properties and its longer term returns. As we like to say, you know, the volatility is the price of superior returns. But then you've got the maintenance of real estate, of course, which is a massive headache for any landlord as well. So I guess you putting them all together in the basket, you get the best of all worlds, and you get to manage the downside over the long term. And, you know, you just mentioned now that when you're investing in real estate at scale, you mitigate a lot of the risks as well. Yeah.
It's kind of like this. I see it kind of like, real estate is Superman, you know, maybe not, maybe it's not Superman. Real estate would be more like, I don't know, superheroes. I'm looking for superheroes. Maybe it's more like Hulk, heavy, kind of slower, can't fly. Bitcoin, Superman. Okay, but the point is, if you do the Superman movie, you go to Superman, you watch Superman, and then they come out with a Hulk movie, then you go watch the Hulk, or you know. But put the two together, bro. Okay. Yeah. Bring in Spider-Man. Like what I'm doing is basically putting the Avengers. I'm creating an Avenger fund of superheroes, right? You don't have to pick whether he can fly or he's strong, right? I'm putting together two superheroes, which is one that's very volatile, intangible, can't touch it. It's digital. The other one's extremely heavy. It's like a yin yang thing. You know, that I think, is going to create a tremendous a new industry. I believe, to make a big claim, I believe that this real estate Bitcoin fund is going to be the biggest thing that's happened in real estate for 65 years. Since the creation of the REITs in 1960, nothing new has happened in real estate for 65 years. Same bullshit. Old, boring, underperforming, stable, consistent, low smoke, you know, just same thing over and over. This is like when I add Bitcoin, layer Bitcoin on top of this real estate, I create an entity that solves so many problems and takes best in class, 2,000-year proven real estate, combine it with a 16-year-old asset called Bitcoin, fuse the two together. I have liquidity, illiquidity, volatility, stability, no cash flow, tax write-offs that Bitcoiners would love to have.
Yeah.
Imagine owning $100 million worth of Bitcoin and getting a $40 million tax break. That's what we're getting on this fund, by the way. Every investor gets a percentage of a $40 to $45 million tax break when we buy the asset.
I can see
And
the
we have,
investment banks salivating over this model, and I just wonder how quickly do you think the real estate industry will recognize what's happening with Bitcoin? Because I did mention earlier, almost at the beginning of this interview, that I find real estate investors are second only to gold investors as being reticent to embrace Bitcoin. But you can't argue with superior returns, and as soon as you list this entity and your numbers, your returns are going to be made public, and to get the mainstream coverage of the Bloombergs, the Wall Street Journals, and whatever. How quickly do you think that industry will reassess and change and potentially pivot?
Yeah. Well, there's 4 trillion that can never pivot. That's the REITs. The entire industry they basically are strapped by their own regulation.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I wrote a book called If You're Not First, You're Last. And in that book, I said, hey, make a list of your competitors and then make a list of what they cannot do. Okay. If they can't do it, you should do it. So you're taking advantage of what somebody can't do. The REITs cannot do this. None of them, no matter how big they are, how much money they have, how connected they are, they can never, ever own Bitcoin. So I'm putting a monster moat around my business because my biggest competitors can never, ever do this under any conditions. The moment they try to hold Bitcoin, they basically violate their tax structure. Number one, that's my first moat. And when you first took an industry, you want to see how big is that industry, and 2, can you protect yourself against competition? The second moat is the quality of real estate we're buying. Okay, you cannot just decide today to go buy a $120 million trophy. You have to be in the game. So that's my second moat. You can go buy junk real estate and add it, but who's going to be excited about it? Okay. You want to buy best in class, cash flow positive. And the third moat that I have that others won't have is my audience. If the institutions don't support it, I can validate this with my 20 million followers. They're going to invest with me. They're going to support me. And, that gives me a long time, dude. It gives me a long time to basically, I talk to audiences, Archie, that other people don't talk to. John Gray, that runs Blackstone's, not coming on your show. Okay. And by the way, if he comes on the show, he's coming on once. I'm going to come on your show, and then they're going to see me on Instagram today. Then they're going to see me on X later tonight. Then they're going to see me on Facebook tomorrow. Then they're going to see me on TikTok, Rumble. Like, John Gray might show up. No offense, John's an unbelievable, guy at Blackstone, but he's not using these social mechanisms, these platforms for distribution to talk to regular people in a regular way, like I talk to people. So those are my thoughts: the asset, the Bitcoin, and the audience. And I think it'll be a long time before they get there.
I think you've got a really powerful business model. Like I said before, I can't wait to watch it scale and change the industry and punch another hole into the global capital markets and funnel some of that money into Bitcoin, because it's surely about to happen.